Hello, Scott here, and this is Mastering the Mind, Body, and Soul. Uh, for all you return viewers, thank you for coming back and watching another video. And for all you new viewers, welcome. Hopefully, there's going to be something that you see or hear that resonates with you. And if it does, please like, comment, and share. Before I begin today's lesson, I'd like to send out a big thank you to Lexi, Shara, and Arelis for sharing my videos each and every week. Your help has helped me reach more viewers, thus helping more people. For those that watch my videos and would like to share them with others, please do. Uh, this this week I had an interesting thing happen to me. On Monday, I had went to the gym and at Anytime Fitness, and I'd finished my workout, and it was probably about 10:30 in the morning. And as I was exiting the gym, there's a Burger King that it was within walking distance of the gym, and Burger King had their vents open, and I could smell the aroma of the burgers that they were cooking up. In the previous videos, I talked about triggers and how impactful they are on people who have addictive personalities. And I'm one of those people. I have an addictive personality. As soon as I smelled that aroma of those char broiled burgers, I started self talking. And I was saying to myself, I've done really good. I haven't had a Whopper in a long time. One Whopper really wouldn't hurt me. And that was me trying to justify and convince myself it was easy or it was okay to break week, go over to the restaurant, order a Whopper, and sit down and eat it. But I was successful in fighting that urge, got on into my truck, and drove away. But had I stayed there any longer or allowed my self talk to uh, you know, push me towards the Burger King, I very well likely would may have had more than one Whopper. But that's how easy it is to get triggered by just small either verbal cues or visual cues that will create a weakness in you to want to go back to an old way of thinking or a lifestyle. Uh, Last week, I introduced to you a concept called R.E.T, and that's Rational Emotive Therapy. And it was developed by a man named Albert Ellis. And I briefly went over the A, B, C, D, and E of this concept. Well, this week, I'm going to review that, but I'm also going to introduce to you the 5 rational questions and the importance question. And it's going to be really crucial that when we start breaking the event down, the self talk and the feelings, that we have a way to challenge the negative self talk so that we can come up with new feelings. And then next week, I'm going to start putting some examples up on this whiteboard and start breaking them down. I'm going to use examples that I think are commonplace in most people's day to day life. But I want to begin with the event again. The event is the happening, and that's how you perceive it. Okay? And the self talk, it consists of thoughts, attitudes, beliefs, and opinions. And that's what's been programmed into your mind. And I've got my Pac-Man model up over here where the parent, the program, and who you are. And depending upon your program, it determines whether or not you come from your adult, which is your intellect and rational thinking, or your child, which is bases everything on feelings and emotions. And if you look at the top, you know everything begins with a thought. Then it leads to feelings. From those feelings lead to actions. From those actions, it leads to a habit. And if you do those habits enough, it leads to a lifestyle and then to your eventual destiny. All right, so that self talk is that conversation that we carry on inside of our head, uh, and it can either be positive, negative, or indifferent, as we talked about last week. The feelings are one word descriptions of how we're feeling at that moment as it relates to our self talk. And then how are we going to determine whether our self talk is positive or negative? By challenging it. And we're going to challenge that with the 5 rational questions and the importance questions. And I have 5 of them listed here and the 6th one listed below. And once we've determined whether or not the self talk is positive or negative, then we have to get down to E, which is our new feelings. And I want to go over the 5 rational questions and importance questions with the first one is my thinking or behavior based on facts? Most of our thinking or our behavior is based on our self-talk. Self-talk comes from our programming and who you are, and it's generally based on opinions of what we think something should be. And then number 2 is, does my thinking or behavior protect my life, health, or freedom? Does that self talk, is it going to be creating any problems that may affect your life, your health, or your freedom? If you're coming out of your child and you have negative self talk, then you're more likely to do something that you may regret later. Now, 3, does my thinking or behavior help me achieve my goals now and in the future? If you've got that negative self talk, and you're coming out of your child, then it's not going to help you achieve what your goals are now and in the future. If that means, keeping your mouth shut and not escalating a argument or some type of confrontation, then that's what that goal should be. And then number 4, does my thinking or behavior avoid unwanted conflicts with others? For me, I want to avoid unwanted conflicts. I don't want drama in my life. I don't want to put myself in circumstances and situations where I have a negative self talk and it creates those negative feelings that I want to act out. And then sometimes once words are said or you do something, you can't take it back. It's out there. And then 5, does my thinking or behavior help me feel the way I want to now and in the future? I don't know of anybody who wants to feel bad, unhappy, sad, angry. Everyone wants to feel good inside and wants to be happy. But if you allowed a weak program, then you're going to be coming out of your child and you're going to make poor decisions as a result of that. And then finally, number 6 is, will this situation be important to me tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years from now? Whatever's happened as you perceived it, uh, it might be important to you tomorrow, but will it be important to you next week? Well, it depends upon the situation. Next year, more than likely not. 5 years from now, may not even remember what happened on that particular day. So, with these 5 rational questions and importance question, we're going to help break down that negative self talk and feelings to develop new feelings. And I think you're going to enjoy the upcoming videos and you're going to be able to identify with and resonate with some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. But before I leave today, I'd like to leave you with a motivational piece of work here. It's the rules for being human. Number 1, you will receive a body. You may like it or hate it, but it will be yours for the entire period this time around. You got to treat your body like a vessel. You reap what you sow. If all you do is use and abuse your body, after a period of time, it's going to reflect that. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt to prove it. So, two, you will learn lessons. You are enrolled in a full-time informal school called Life. Each day in this school, you will have the opportunity to learn lessons. You may like the lessons or think them irrelevant or stupid. Now, life can be a hard teacher at times, especially if you're basing everything in your life on a feeling or emotion. Three, there are no mistakes. Growth is a process of trial and error. Experimentation, the failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiment that ultimately works. Four, a lesson is repeated until it is learned. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you have learned it. You can go on to the next lesson. So I'll break that down in this way. If you're attracted to a certain type of individual in your life, then once you leave that relationship and go into another relationship, you're going to be drawn to that same type of individual that you left in the previous relationship. Why? Because you didn't learn anything from it. And so what are you going to do? You're going to repeat that same lesson over and over again till you get sick of it and you say, I want to do something different. And once again, I'm a perfect example of that. And number five, learning lessons does not end. There is no part of life that does not contain its lessons. If you are alive, there are lessons to be learned. You're learning from the womb to the tomb. Okay? Life doesn't, you don't stop learning just because you graduated high school or college. It's an ongoing process. And six, there is no better than here. When your there has become a here, you will simply obtain another there. That again looks better than here. So, I always have an acronym for you each and every week. And this week, it's brave. I want you to be brave. I want you to face your challenges and the obstacles that you're dealing with. And what is being brave? Is being real and valuing everything. You got to keep it 100. You got to be 21. Don't take anything for granted. Do your best each and every day, and then let the process begin the next day. The more positive days that you have than negative days, the stronger that you will get. The stronger that you get, the better you'll get, and the more change that will occur in your life. As I close, as I always like to say, is do an act of kindness today, because you never know what that other person is going through, and a simple smile and hello can make all the difference. Or just a few minutes out of your daily routine just to sit down and listen to someone. I had that opportunity to do that this weekend. Now, I want to say I believe in you. I want you to believe in yourself, and we can all believe in each other, and we can make this a strong and vibrant community. With that, I'd like to say, may God bless you and much love and light.